What's going on, guys? Welcome to another random video on this channel. And I had to ask the question in the beginning of this video because I was thinking about the other day, how many of the women that I like were using iOS or Android? So just basically a comparison. They could be women I used to know. And I started really thinking about this. And then I was like, wait a minute, I use Android, but most of the women that I've known that, I don't know, some weird stuff, they had issues, whatever was going on with them. And I'm talking about back in the day. They all used Android, and you guys know I really like Android. But the women today that I care about, they're all using iOS. There's no question about it. All the women that I care about, and if you're watching this video, you know who you are. You're using an iPhone. So I find it really funny because I'm using Android. I think it's an amazing platform. The iPhone is a good phone. If I like you and you're using an iPhone, of course I think it's a good thing. But when I'm using Android, I never thought about it that way. But I was like, wait a minute, all those women that had issues, they're all using Android. So what is that all about? I don't know. It's a random thought that I had. Besides that, I wanted to talk about some music because some people were asking me about the kind of music that I listen to, especially with the reviews I was doing with the speakers. This is the thing with me. I listen to all different kinds of music, but really, most of the music that I'm listening to is hip-hop and R&B, and the reason why is because I was raised on that. Now, for modern music, and this goes for any kind of hip-hop and R&B, some of the things that I listen to, yeah, I might like the song, I might like the artist to a point, but to really like the artist, I find it to be a challenge. So for myself, with R&B, it's Michael Jackson, Janet Jackson, Prince, even you go way back in the day to the Isley Brothers. So I listen to a lot of old school R&B. And if you want to talk about like modern music, like I was talking about before, there's Janelle Monáe. I like her a lot. I think she's a really unique artist. When you think about it, artists today have to really sell themselves to a point where they have to do all these crazy things. Just like I was talking about yesterday, when you have to go on Twitter and start fighting with people. And she doesn't do that. She's just a really true artist. And I can appreciate, what she does for that. So yeah, Janelle Monáe, shout out to you. I think I mentioned you once on this channel. Who else? Jhené Aiko? I think she's really good. As far as like an R&B singer, she does a little bit of rap and hip hop. And she also goes onto other tracks and stuff, especially hip hop tracks. So she does some different stuff too. I think she's a unique artist in her own ways too. And I think one thing about her is that, again, you're not hearing things all the time about her because she's not fighting with people. These people that go out there, they need to start drama and everything. Even a guy like Chris Brown. The way I look at him is that he was always a throwback to MJ. So when he was doing that kind of music the way MJ would, and the dance moves and all that kind of stuff, I could really appreciate it. But when he gets involved in all the craziness, and we're talking about even with Karrueche, I think her name is, and he's going on Instagram and saying all that stuff. I think maybe part of it or a lot of it is real, I guess. But the other part of it is like you're an artist, and I would think you need to really focus on your art and your craft. When you listen to the music and you want to hear an artist, sometimes if you're following what they're doing outside the music, you can be like, wait a minute, they were doing this, they were doing that, and that's kind of crazy. Can you appreciate the music? And I try to ignore a lot of that stuff with Chris Brown because some of the music that he creates I actually do like. But anyways, besides all of that, like hip-hop, I was raised on Run DMC, Public Enemy. I'm talking about that was the very first rap when I was listening to when I was little. Will Smith, and of course back in the day when I was listening to Tupac and Biggie, I didn't really care for any kind of feud or whatever. I would just listen to the music that I liked, and a lot of it actually was Biggie. And back then, I'm not sure how much of a fan I was of like P. Diddy or whatever he was calling himself back then, but he was on a lot of the songs, so I would just hear him too. Of course, Snoop Dogg, I mean, who wasn't listening to Snoop Dogg when I was younger? But I would say one thing. When Vanilla Ice came out, I was not listening to Vanilla Ice. No offense to Vanilla Ice, but I was not listening to you. When I was younger, I'm talking about go back in the day, I was raised on a lot of stuff that has to do with black culture, I guess you would say. There's no question about it. From the music that I listened to the TV shows that I was watching, it was all African American. And the reason I'm even saying this is because there's an authenticity to what you like and what you create and who you involve yourself with. So when I look at the music and the art that I appreciate, you better believe that it's going to be from all sorts of places around the world, from all different nationalities and races, and that's the way I appreciate music. And by the way, talking about women before, that's the way I appreciate women. Anyway, so that's what I think about art and music and all that kind of stuff. You guys can let me know in the comments what kind of music you guys are listening to. And of course, if you like this video, give it a thumbs up. I'll see you guys later. Peace out.